I mean, every day for 3.5 years now, I've had to choose on a lot of days between the blue job and the pink job and fun. I mean, I've had some fun, but really I've chosen the blue jobs, and I've had all I can do to keep those going. But that has been the priority now for 3.5 years, to keep this boat seaworthy and safe. It's taken a huge toll. The boat has always been the most important for the last 3.5 years. More important than my health, more important than my finances, more important than my relationships, more important than my mental health, my physical health. The boat has been everything, and it's time for that to change. I can even be a pool girl and trade for a driveway. Yes, paying for the beautiful Brunswick Landing Marina and paying for RV parks to park was impossible, so I looked for driveways to stay in exchange for doing a bit of work that an owner might need. And there's Michael being a pool boy in exchange.
I've never had my own pool, so I think it was quite a good exchange.
Nothing's free in life.
No?
So the long and the short of it is nobody was coming to look at the boat, and if somebody did, they would have seen kind of an old boat, so decided to move it south and haul it out and do some work on it to make her pretty when and if anybody ever came to see it. So none of that is mine. I don't own all. Just
so
this is mine. The jerry cans, I guess. Going back on Brick House. It's not going to be all nice and clear anymore. Bye. Yep, the plan was to take her south to St. Mary's, haul her out there, do a bunch of touch-up work, get her pretty, get her ready so that if a buyer ever came once I reduced the price, then we would be good to go. Here we are, back at Brick House. Put everything back on her again. Taking her south. Okay, so let's not bring anything onto the boat that we want into the RV.
Spare time job moving things on and off Brick House. Hey, she looks good. Hey?
Oh, this is the first time you've seen her for a long time.
Yeah, it is. Aha, some history.
Yep, a little bit of care to her wood, cleaning of her winches, polishing of the stainless steel, and maybe a bit of paint. But then, as it turned out, when we talked to the owner of Brunswick Landing Marina, we were able to do all of the work that we wanted to do to Brick House right in the water. We didn't have to pay for a haul out down in St. Mary's. We didn't have to bring her down to St. Mary's. So instead of transporting her down there, we brought everything back to storage and got everything out of storage to work on her and started working the very next day. First was a whole bunch of sanding and then cleaning up the boat and then masking things off to paint things. This took about 2 or 3 weeks. And she looked a lot worse before she started getting better. But then she turned the corner and things started going better. You know, the minute you start putting paint on, things start looking a whole lot better. We were still planning to bring her south to a cheaper marina in Jacksonville when we were done with the work, but halfway into the work, suddenly the phone started ringing. 4 potential buyers coming all within a few weeks of each other. One was a total time waster and a dreamer, and one was probably a scam artist, although a very good, convincing one. But the other 2 were very qualified, good people. Who would it be? So, I had a young couple come and look at her yesterday, and they had taken a road trip down to Florida to look at a bunch of boats, and mine was the last one that they're looking at on the way back up out of Florida, back to Canada. And it's a shame because he was too tall for the boat. He's like 6'4", and this has like 6'2" of headroom. She just so loved the boat. She said to me they had been on 15 different boats on their trip, and all of them were long forgotten boats, neglected. The owners didn't know anything about them, didn't care anything about them. And this boat is pretty obvious that I love her and I care about her and I've cared for her and I've maintained her, and she's ready to go. I mean, literally put some food on and head to Europe next week. no problem whatsoever, full confidence. If any boat is ready to go right now, it's Brickhouse. What's the real reason? Well, you know, for the last 3.5 years since I lost Patrick, I've been doing the pink jobs, I've been doing the blue jobs. You know, I've given my heart and my soul to keeping this boat seaworthy, and it's taken a real toll. You know, I've developed a few anxiety disorders, not anxiety disorders, but, you know, TMJ, you know, grinding my teeth at night, clenching my jaw at night. You know, I've taken care of nothing except for Brickhouse. And it's time to stop that drain. Oh, and it's taken a toll on my pocketbook too. But the boat's in great shape because of it. It's just that I'm not in great shape because of it. And I need to stop that. Sell the boat. You know, it's my risk and my responsibility, and it's just too much. So yes, I'm selling the boat, and you know, I really didn't know that until I got to Brunswick, so I've been making improvements to it. Even as late as Florida, I've been making upgrades. You know, I put on a new winch. I redid the windows in the Dodger. You know, I've painted. But once I got to Brunswick, because when I got to Brunswick, you know, I just felt this total and complete relief come over me that I never had to leave Brunswick again if I didn't want to. I could just stay here and everything would be okay, and I wouldn't have to cross any more oceans. And if I didn't keep the boat, you know, 100%, maybe that would be okay, because I don't ever have to leave here. Every place I've been between South Africa and here, I knew I had to leave. I knew I had to get the boat home, but now the boat's home. And because it felt like such a huge relief, and since I could so easily go and buy an RV and actually choose to live on the RV instead of living on the boat, it told me it was time. It told me that it was time. It told me it was time to get off the boat and live another chapter and move on. So that's what I'm doing by selling the boat.
Looking good, eh?
It's looking beautiful. It was really good to have Michael here with me. Very meaningful and very helpful to not be doing the blue jobs yet again completely by myself. So he directed the whole thing, told me what to do. I listened, and we got it done. Michael is a seriously hard worker, and neither one of us ever stopped working that whole time. Giving the sails a bit of an air out. Always good to shake out the cobwebs. Keep my mainsail beautiful. I've always prided myself on having plan A, plan B, and plan C on the boat. Plan A, plan B. Plan A, my Raymarine chart plotter. Plan B. Plan A, Iridium Go. Plan B. Plan A, an inside VHF. Plan B, an outside VHF. The list goes on and on and on for Plan A and Plan B.
My Life CO4 batteries by Freedom 1 batteries has been charged with this Balmar regulator. I think it's 165 amp high output alternator. A lithium battery can quickly chew up an alternator, and this is a pretty damn expensive alternator to just chew up. So to protect the alternator, I don't have just a plan A or plan B, but I have a plan C too. So plan A is over here, and that's my special Life PO4 Balmar alternator regulator. And as a plan B, it's basically a zap protector by Sterling. And then as a plan C is the relay, but relays go bad. My alternator will not burn up. And this is my plan B. Yeah, it's pretty sad in a lot of ways to me that I'm selling the boat, but it's not the end of my sailing days. You
know, I think eventually I'll come back to boating, maybe have a half stake in a boat, or maybe have no stake in a boat at all, and just go and be the frosting on somebody else's boat and help them with theirs. But we'll see what happens. Look at how beautiful she's looking. Gorgeous, gorgeous. A few more touch-ups to do. Maybe you can spot them. Can you spot where we need to do a few little touch-ups? I really want to sell the boat to someone who will sail the boat, cruise the boat, take it across oceans, because that's what she's made for. She's not a dock boat. She's not a dock hen. She's not a weekend sailor. It takes a lot to get this boat ready to go out and go sailing. But once you get her out and get her out into the ocean, she like leaps forward. You know, they say that you're only as old as you feel, and that is the epitome of Brick House. She might be old in years, but she is ready to leap and fly across the ocean. When she gets out sailing, she loves it, and she shows just how young she feels. Having a really, really, really mellow sail downwind. Sail quite comfortably, just head sail up. Nice and easy and boring. And we're sailing away from the Yankees. And really, really feeling good about this point. Excuses were two for a penny. She loves to sail. She sails fast, she sails well, she sails steady. Yeah, I really want to sell her to somebody that will continue on with her and not let her rot at the dock. If I just keep the boat and keep it as a condo at the dock or something for me for my winters, the boat will deteriorate. And you know, boats don't like to sit. And it's the other reason that I need to sell her, because if she just sits and start falling apart, and as boats do. So I hope somebody will buy her and not just let her sit, but sail her and cross oceans with her soon, because that's what she wants to do. She's ready to go. Put some food on her and set off to Europe or wherever you want to go. Bird nest up there in the radar reflex. There's not a lot of poop on the back, so it's just getting started. So that's where we have to do our little touch-up, and right there. Head sail is up. Time to furl it in. I'm gonna put some tension on this line. I need 4 hands. Whew, that sun. New self-tailing winch. Nobody needed to tail the other side. Too much tension on the right? Let off just a little bit of tension on the right. So as a treat to both of us for all the hard work we've been doing for the last 2 or 3 weeks, we went to the state park, Blythe Island Campground, to have some fun. It's like a county park in Brunswick, Georgia. And, you know, Michael has been working with me for like 2 or 3 weeks at least now, since he got done with his boat delivery. Let's just say he was pretty disappointed in me that I was leaving Brick House sort of looking pretty shabby, and I just wanted to run away on the RV, and I still want to run away on the RV, but he insisted that we give her some love and give her a bit of a facelift, so we painted the entire top sides from bow to stern, cockpit, top sides, everything. And gosh, she looks really good now. It was a lot of hard work for probably about 3 weeks, but very glad to say she really is looking good now. And yeah, she's officially and totally both in my soul and on paper for sale.
Here we go. Our first night in the RV, parking in the national park. Really, really beautiful. Have a glass of wine.
Thank
and
you.
we're going to do some salmon on the fire.
On the fire?
Yeah.
Oh my
We just got to
goodness.
defrost it.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think that fire will defrost it pretty quickly. Nice. So, what are you looking forward to here the most?
Oh, I want to get the new kayaks in the water. Go exploring on the lake or the river, whatever there is here, and take the new bike for a spin.
That's the new bike.
Yep.
It's only like 40 years old, but it's new to us.
A really well-made bike in its day. Yep, sure it's a little bit old, but you know, for what did I pay? $260? Mm-hmm. For $300 or $200, you can go to Walmart and get a real piece of crap. You can go anywhere off-road on that bike. So very happy.
But can you keep up with me and my high peak electric bike?
The question is, can your electric bike keep up with me when I'm going vertical up a hill and down over the other side?
I won't even have to pedal.
Yeah. Check that fire out. So
That's a South African fire if I
So
ever
I just
saw
have
one.
to say, we arrived here and I straight away cracked a frosty and went and scoured around all of the
You're not supposed to
forest.
admit that.
Yeah,
It's against the campground
for
rules.
for some firewood because we didn't have time to bring any. We had a piece of 2x4 that I chopped up with the axe to start the fire and a can of petrol.
Yeah, he almost
gas-
blew his
gasoline.
mustache and beard off with that one.
So we got that going. It just went up in a ball of flames, and then Rebecca hauls out the camp rules. No alcohol allowed, and you are not allowed to use the local foliage in your fire. It's all dead wood. I'm not, of course, going to be picking wood off of a live tree, but the forest floor is just scattered with firewood, kindling.
That's because
and
everybody obeys the rules except for you.
keep it clean, burn it. There will be no future problems.
I'm really happy to be spending this first 2-week adventure with Michael in the RV. I don't get the pleasure of his company all year round anymore because he's a sailor and he goes back to Grenada and goes sailing on Amiga Mia. And Amiga Mia is just a little too small for me because I'm such a spoiled, fair weather sailor. But I'm hoping that somehow, someday, he gets a bigger boat and I can go sailing with him. And we can sail part-time and we can RV part-time. But right now, I'm so happy that I get to spend 2 weeks with him, just kayaking and mountain biking and electric biking for me. And we're gonna go up to Savannah tomorrow.
We're going to have dinner there. I'm quite looking forward to it. I'm sure it's going to be quite a cultural experience. But it is one of those things where you have to swear some kind of allegiance, and I don't know what it's all about, but that's going to be fun to see. And henceforth, we will be getting discounts in specific locations that organization kind of administers and runs. So.
Has nice RV hookups and electricity and water and nice people, good people. Since I'll be traveling by myself for half the time on the RV, and it's really important as a female to find good, safe, nice places to stay at. And right now, at least before I sell the boat, I just don't have the budget to pay for my marina fees and pay for RV parks. We're spending over $500 to stay in this RV park for 2 weeks. That's a lot of money, and I don't have that money to do that every month until I sell the boat maybe. But so finding safe places with good people like the Elks are reputed to be is important for me, especially when I'm traveling by myself. So I'm quite glad to be joining the Elks.
For my South African friends and family, the costs of RVing in the United States, if you want to go to a nice park like this where you've got space, you've got nature, and you know, some kind of natural beauty, you're spending around $50 or close on 2,000 Rand in our currency per night. That's a huge sum of money for people that are not really, you know, full-time employed. So it's great for people in the United States who are doing weekend trips or short little holidays or a vacation around Christmas or whatever. But for Rebecca and for myself, when I'm joining her, it's a lifestyle choice. And you just cannot sustain it at $50 is not a body number. Some of them are $100 up to $200, which is 4,000 Rand per night. But the idea of a South African or somebody from another country offshore coming in and RVing in this style is extremely challenging on a financial point of view. So we have done everything from sleeping overnight at a Walmart car park, which is for free. But there's no ways I'm going to be traveling across the United States sleeping in Walmart car parks. Thank you. I have a boat, I have ocean, I have free spaces, wide open, beautiful vistas to go and drop anchor in and live a life that is more suited to myself. And of course, money. It all revolves around that. If you can afford it, well, you can be in this beautiful kind of place as often as you want.
I can't afford to always be in a nice place, but I can afford to be in a nice place sometimes, especially if the boat is sold and I'm not paying the marina fees. It's sort of like with sailing and boating, like who can afford to be in a marina year round, month after month after month after month? I never afforded that. My whole, 17, 16, 15 years, whatever it was, sailing around the world, we'd go to a marina sometimes, but then we'd have to balance it out with anchoring for free for months and months after that to sort of, spread the load over several months. And it's going to be the same thing with the RV. I'm a member of Harvest Host. I'm a member of Boondockers. There's links down below for those with a little bit of a discount on them. But, I've joined a lot of clubs to get free camping or cheap camping, but sometimes I'm going to be able to go to parks like this, especially once I get the boat sold and I'm not paying marina fees. So just like for a boat, it's the same with an RV.
You may want to go and take a tour, rent a kayak or do whatever. And those things all cost money. It's not cheap. So yeah, you got to budget around about $100 a day to do this, I'd imagine, together as a couple.
I think it's going to be less than that. Once we kind of like have the gear that we need and have our flow down and, have a kind of we do some free camping, we do some discounted camping, and then we do some nice camping. I think we'll get it down. That's what I hope anyway.
Apparently I'm drinking the cheapest student beer in the United States.
No, that's Miller Lite. Miller High Life is like what the professionals drink. That don't make
it's what professional students of life drink, apparently. But it's the cheapest. Went out last night and a draft beer is $8. Yeah, you can't do that too often.
Margarita's $12.
Margarita, $12. We shared that. 250 Rand in my currency. We save money where we can. We cook a lot at home. The whole thing with a fire is to start living a little bit of a South African lifestyle again, fire and
a braai.
Yeah, food on the fire. I haven't done that since I left Grenada. We used to go and do it on the beach there, and there were a whole bunch of South Africans, so that was an easy thing to rustle up. But in the United States, not so easy. People don't really know what you're talking about. I'm going to go and catch myself a crocodile or an alligator, and we're going to barbecue it over there. So stand by and wait for that.
Or maybe a barbecued raccoon? Come on.
Hello, fella.
No, he doesn't eat lemon.
It's terrible. I know. Who even thunk it? Whoops, my fish is burning, I can tell. So in Africa, when they're wild animals, you make a fire. Not that a tame little national park raccoon is a wild animal, but maybe he is. So we'll just smoke him out and make a little bit of fire to keep him away.
Probably small. Never would have thought salmon on the grill would be good. I would think you'd just overcook it, but Michael didn't overcook it. It's beautiful. Pink. Beautiful.
Fish. Fat and skin.
Skin.
Let's see if he takes it. I hope so. Okay, buddy.
I don't know what that is. Oh, yes, I think I'll take it.
Yes, he liked it.
Oh, there's two of them. And a possum.
No. Oh, and a possum. Oh, my word. Look at that.
How amazing. There he goes.
Oh, low battery.
Yeah, my buddy. Are you filming?
Yes.
Can you get the guy?
Yes.
Come in here. Get in close.
Yes, got him. Get your hand too, so move your hand.
So that was delicious salmon fat and skin. And this raccoon has just lapped it up. And he brought his buddies, so we've managed to feed 2 of them.
And a possum.
I don't think the possum ate any fish at all. Oh, beautiful, huh? Hey, fella, sorry, it's all finished. There's no more. There's no more. Keep it, keep it. Hey, fella.
Raccoon. You want to come and sit on my lap? You're a pretty animal. He might want to go inside to sleep, but they know it's warm in there. Don't burn your paws. Not worth it.
Something held me back, though, in making an effort to market Brick House. You've never seen a video on this channel with a tour and a sales pitch to sell her or anything. Maybe I want to sell her for, not for her fame, but for her true and apparent merits. Sort of like I want people to like me for my own merits, not my fame or
Deck
very
is nice
soft
and
fortune.
hard.
A couple
No
who was
soft
listening
spots
or watching very carefully
whatsoever.
asked me a few months into being ready to sell Brick House if she was still for sale. They came to look, made me a full price offer contingent on the sale of their land, sold their land a few days later, and bought Brick House a few weeks after that with no contingencies. However, at the urging of my broker and the insistence of their insurance company, a survey had to be done fairly last minute. So Michael and I drove from western Florida to Brunswick to do a survey and sea trial. Even though the buyer assured me that there was nothing going to stop him from buying Brick House, I was still nervous that something would be found and the buyer would freak out about it and back out. If they didn't end up buying the boat, I'd have to stay in Florida with my RV. I wouldn't be able to travel. My finances would be horrible. I'd have to live in driveways for the rest of my life. And wow, I was just so nervous that something would happen or that I'd break the boat, you know, just doing the sea trial because something, you know, went wrong in the 3 months that she sat or 6 months that she sat. So, but after a very, I mean, it was relaxing for everybody else, but I think for me, I was just so tensed out and so nervous. It doesn't really look like it during the video here, but I was pretty darn nervous that something would screw up and the owners would freak
Okay,
out.
when that happens, turn it back to neutral position. Pull this out. Push it back in. Might have to hold it for a bit before it turns, but don't hold it forever because then you'll blow out the starter.
Thank goodness it started. We haven't even left the dock yet. After you start the engine, I like to combine the batteries so that both the house battery and the engine battery will get charged by the alternator. That way when you go to start it again, it will start. So thankfully Michael was here to get out of the dock. I had gone into the dock and forward a few times, but I had not backed out of a dock in 20 years and really didn't want to do it under the careful vision of like 10 people on the boat. So he got us out, got us on our way, and I took over from there. But he was awesome crew.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun.
So this is the hat that David bought before he even bought my boat, so that was a pretty good sign.
All the good times just begun.
I so much wanted these guys to end up buying this boat. I was so worried through the whole thing that I'd screw up the boat or sink the boat on the sea trial and then they wouldn't want to buy it, but they were so committed to buying it and they just made it so easy for me. Thank you, you guys. Solar and wireless.
With you and I, the future is bright. You and I, we got it. We don't need no more.
Okay, so take up the slide. Well, as much as you can take, you pull as fast as you can. Absolutely everything that I learned in the last year or so of being a captain on Brick House came back into play today for one more time. With me having the most knowledge of how the boat is supposed to be operated and what's going to make things break or sink, I really had to be captain 100%. Truly, I think Patrick would be both impressed and maybe a little surprised that I have taken such a role as captain on this boat now. I mean, I owned the boat before I met him, but I really let him take over. And since he passed, I've really grown as a captain and grown as a person. I think I'm a whole different person than I was when I left South Africa.
All right, head sail.
I've not only completed a circumnavigation on this boat, but I have become who I am today. The big question is can I have an identity off of this boat? Can I be somebody off of this boat? Or am I back to square one? Can I be someone beside a sailor? Will people like me as someone beside a sailor? Will I become quickly competent and confident in the RV world? Will anyone respect me like they seem to in the sailing world? Or will I sink into a life of anonymity, be a little old lady who becomes a total recluse living in a trailer park someday? That's the question. I've been a sailor my whole life. Can I be anything else?
I'm gonna let out the main sheet just a little bit more.
Good.
She is looking lovely, eh? She's going to a good home, good people.
Give him a little card. We really have to film this. I know it's the right thing to be selling her, but it's really hard. It really is hitting me now that it's the last time that I'm going to see her. So many memories in this boat. I've had her for more than half my life, almost my whole adult life. Since I was like 34 or something.
Feel it rising up and above. You will always keep my heart and soul strong. Plant your seeds and watch them grow. The light will always know where to go. You will always keep my heart and soul strong.
You think they'll like that? You know what it says?
Yeah. Now she is looking beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to hand her over looking like this.
Yeah, she looks good. Two people to thank. Michael, thanks for making her look so pretty, and for always being here through all of from South Africa to here, all the most important parts you've been with me here for. Thank you. And to David, the man who's been staying on my boat, thank you for all that you've done. Also to get me across an ocean and to help me clean up the boat and make her pretty. So thank you both very much. And David and Diane, take good care of her. Take good care of each other, and just enjoy her. She's a great boat. You'll love her. I know you will.
A weird thing happened at the mast when I kissed her goodbye.
It's like I got all this tinnitus in my ear. And like loud humming. I think it was saying goodbye to me. Bye, brick house. Just go.
Whenever I cried, Patrick used to say to me, just think of the doggy. Think of the doggy kissing your face. That'll make you feel better.
Your face? Yeah. No, you're too naughty.
And thank you, Brick House, for being here through my entire circumnavigation. Thanks for taking such great care of me. You will be forever in my heart and in my soul. Nice sail right now. It'd be nice if it stayed like this for the rest of all time. I would have no problem with that at all. This was a very emotional video for me to make. I cry every time I watch it to make a few finishing touches on it, and it seems like it's never done. If you've enjoyed Sailing Brick House over the years, please give me a big thumbs up, leave a comment, and please, I hope you'll subscribe or stay subscribed to watch my new videos on Sailing Brick House, but now RVing.